Look around your room right now. Your phone, your laptop, your TV. All of it is made possible by technology that didn't exist 50 years ago. We live in a world of digital payments, cryptocurrency, online banking, and AI. Everything is instant. Everything is connected. Everything is ones and zeros. So why the hell are governments still hoarding a shiny yellow rock that humans discovered thousands of years ago? Why are central banks buying more gold right now than they have in decades? And why do people in every culture, from India to Italy to America, still see gold as the ultimate safety net? If gold is just a relic from the past, why hasn't it been replaced? Why isn't it sitting in a museum next to stone tools and ancient pottery? The answer is way deeper than you think. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why gold has survived empires, wars, currencies, technological revolutions, and why it's probably going to outlast everything we're using right now. Let's go. So first, let's talk about what money actually is. Because most people never think about this. Money isn't real. Not in the way a tree or a rock is real. Money is just a system we all agreed on, a shared illusion. We decided that little pieces of paper or numbers on a screen represent value. And as long as everyone believes it, it works. But here's the problem. That belief can break. Currencies collapse. Governments print too much money. Banks fail. Entire economies implode. We've seen it happen over and over throughout history. Germany in the 1920s. Zimbabwe in the 2000s. Venezuela right now. When the system breaks, when trust evaporates, people panic. And they run to the one thing that's been around longer than any government, any bank, any currency. Gold. Gold doesn't need belief. It doesn't need a government to back it. It doesn't need an internet connection or a bank account. It just exists. It's real. You can hold it in your hand. And that's why it's never gone away. But why gold specifically? Why not silver, or copper, or some other metal? Great question. Because if you look at the periodic table, there are a lot of metals. So why did humans pick this one? Here's the thing. For something to work as money, as a store of value, it needs to check a bunch of boxes. It has to be durable. It can't rot or rust or disappear over time. It has to be divisible. You need to be able to break it into smaller pieces without destroying it. It has to be portable. You need to be able to move it around. It has to be rare, but not impossible to find. And it has to be recognizable. People need to know what it is when they see it. Now let's go through the options. Iron, everywhere. And it rusts. Copper, turns green and corrodes. Aluminum, way too common. You can't store serious wealth in something that's literally everywhere. What about the really rare metals like platinum or palladium? They're valuable, sure, but they were discovered too late. By the time scientists figured out they existed, gold had already been money for thousands of years. Gold hits every single requirement perfectly. It doesn't rust. It doesn't corrode. If you bury a gold coin in the ground for 1,000 years and dig it up, it looks almost exactly the same. It's soft enough to melt and shape into coins or bars or jewelry. It's rare enough to be valuable, but not so rare that societies can't actually use it. And it's instantly recognizable. Everyone knows what gold looks like. From a pure chemistry and physics standpoint, gold is basically the perfect material to be money. It's like nature designed it for that exact purpose. But it's not just science. There's something else going on. Something psychological. Humans have always been attracted to gold. Not because we need it to survive. You can't eat it. You can't build a house out of it. But it's beautiful. It shines. It catches the light in a way that other metals don't. It stands out. So ancient people started using it for decoration, jewelry, religious objects, symbols of power. Kings and queens wore it. Temples were covered in it. And once gold became associated with status, wealth, and power, the next step was inevitable. It became money. If everyone wants something and there's only a limited supply, that thing becomes valuable. And if it's valuable, you can use it to trade. That's how gold went from pretty decoration to the foundation of entire economies. For most of human history, money was gold. Or it was silver. Or it was something directly backed by gold. Empires rose and fell based on how much gold they controlled. Wars were fought over it. Trade routes were built around it. Gold was the ultimate measure of wealth. Even when paper money was invented, it wasn't really paper money. It was a receipt, a claim on gold stored somewhere else. You could take your paper bill to a bank and exchange it for actual gold. That's what the gold standard was. Every dollar, every pound, every franc was backed by real metal sitting in a vault. But that system ended. In 1971, President Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard. Suddenly, money wasn't backed by anything physical. It was just paper, or numbers on a computer, backed by nothing but trust in the government. This is called fiat currency. Fiat means by decree. Basically, money has value because the government says it does. And for a while, that worked. The economy grew. Trade expanded. Everything seemed fine. But here's the thing. Governments can print fiat money whenever they want. And when they print too much, it loses value. That's inflation. Your money buys less. Your savings shrink. And if a government really screws up, the currency can become worthless. Before we keep going, if this is starting to make sense, hit that subscribe button. We're Money Trap, and every week we break down the systems of money, power, and wealth that most people never learn about. This stuff is important. If you don't understand how money actually works, you're playing a game where everyone else knows the rules except you. Alright, let's keep going. So we live in a world of fiat currency now. Governments can print as much as they want. But here's the crazy part. Central banks, the same institutions that print money, are buying gold. Tons of it. More than they have in decades. In 2023 and 2024, central banks around the world bought more gold than at any point since the 1960s. China, Russia, India, Poland, Turkey, even countries you wouldn't expect. They're all loading up on gold. Why? Because gold is the one asset that isn't anyone's liability. Think about it. If you hold US dollars, you're trusting the US government. If you hold euros, you're trusting the European Central Bank. If you hold bonds, you're trusting that the issuer will pay you back. Everything in the financial system is based on trust. On promises. Gold doesn't require trust. A bar of gold sitting in a vault doesn't depend on a government keeping its word. It doesn't depend on a bank staying solvent. It's not a promise. It's just a thing. A real, physical thing. And in a world where trust is fragile, where currencies can collapse and governments can freeze your assets, that matters. This is why countries hold gold as a strategic reserve. It's their insurance policy, their plan B. If the global financial system falls apart, if there's a war, if currencies collapse, gold still has value. It's the ultimate fallback. And it's not just governments. Regular people hold gold for the same reason, especially in countries that have experienced currency crises. If you're in Argentina and you've watched your currency lose value year after year, you don't trust paper money. If you're in Turkey and inflation is eating away at your savings, you buy gold. If you're in India and your family has passed down gold jewelry for generations, you know it holds value when nothing else does. Gold is tangible. You can hold it. You can see it. A number on a bank screen feels fragile. It can disappear with a click. But a gold coin? A gold bracelet? That's real. And in times of crisis, real is what people want. There's also a cultural element. In many parts of the world, gold isn't just an investment. It's part of life. Weddings in India involve massive amounts of gold. It's tradition. It's how families transfer wealth across generations. In the Middle East, in Asia, in parts of Europe, gold jewelry isn't just decoration. It's savings. It's a form of money that you wear. This psychological and cultural connection to gold is powerful. It's been reinforced over thousands of years. And it's not going away just because we invented credit cards. Now, let's be clear. Gold isn't perfect. It doesn't generate income. If you own a stock, the company makes money and you get dividends. If you own real estate, you collect rent. If you own a bond, you get interest payments. Gold? It just sits there. It doesn't do anything. That's why financial advisors don't tell you to put all your money in gold. It's not a growth asset. You're not going to get rich buying gold and holding it. What gold does is preserve wealth. It protects you. It's a hedge against disaster. When everything is going great, when the economy is booming and stocks are going up, gold underperforms. But when things go bad, when there's a financial crisis, when inflation spikes, when currencies collapse, gold holds its value. Sometimes it even goes up. That's the trade-off. You're not buying gold to make money. You're buying it to not lose money when everything else falls apart. And here's the thing. The world is getting less stable, not more. We're seeing geopolitical tension between the US and China. We're seeing massive debt levels in almost every major country. We're seeing inflation that governments can't seem to control. We're seeing trust in institutions decline. In that kind of environment, gold becomes more important, not less. Because when the system feels shaky, people want something solid. Something that's been around for thousands of years. Something that survived every crisis in human history. This is why gold isn't going anywhere. Even if we invent new technologies, even if we create digital currencies, even if the entire financial system changes, gold will still be here. Because it represents something deeper than money. It represents security, stability, permanence. Governments know this. That's why they keep thousands of tons of it locked in vaults. That's why they're buying more right now. They're preparing. They're hedging. They're making sure that if the worst happens, they have something real to fall back on. And regular people? They're doing the same thing. Maybe not in America as much, because we've been lucky. The dollar has been strong for a long time. But go to countries that have experienced real economic pain, and you'll see gold everywhere. In homes, in jewelry shops, in people's hands. They know what we're starting to remember. That paper money is fragile. That trust can break. That the only thing you can really count on is something real, something physical, something that's been valuable for all of human history. Gold is more than a metal. It's a 5,000-year-old insurance policy. It's the ultimate backup plan. It's humanity's way of saying, no matter what happens, this will still be worth something. And in a world where everything feels uncertain, where currencies are printed into oblivion, where governments weaponize financial systems, where trust is eroding, that matters more than ever. So yeah, governments hold gold because they don't fully trust the system they created. People hold gold because they don't fully trust governments. And that's not going to change. Because at the end of the day, gold is the only money that doesn't require permission, doesn't require trust, and doesn't require belief. It just is. Look, there's way more to this story. How gold is being used in the new global financial system. Why central banks are repatriating their gold from foreign vaults. What role gold plays in the coming economic shifts. That video is up next on your screen. Click it, watch it. Because understanding gold isn't just about history. It's about survival in the world that's coming. And drop a comment. Tell me, do you hold gold? Do you think it's outdated? Or do you see it as the ultimate safety net? I read every single one. Until next time, stay sharp.